does it matter when the higher qualities of the heart that are all that can be desired? The higher notes of the voice are matters of comparative insignificance. Who thinks slightingly of the coconut because it is husky? Besides, you're not singing for engagement. You have that already.
How good and wise you are. How unerringly your practiced mind winnows the chaff from the wheat, the material from the merely incidental.
My Girton training, Arthur. At Girton, all is wheat, and idle chaff is never heard of within its walls. But tell me, is not all working marvelously well? Have not our flowers of progress more than justified their name?
Indeed, we have done our best. Captain Cochrane and I have, in concert, thoroughly remodeled the sister services, and upon so sound a basis that the South Pacific trembles at the name of Utopia.
How clever of you.
Clever? Not one bit. It's as easy as possible, when the Admiralty and the Horse Guards are not there to intervene. And so it is with the others. Freed from the trammels imposed upon them by idle acts of Parliament, all have given their natural talents full play, and have introduced reforms which even in England were never dreamt of.
But perhaps the most beneficial change of all has been effected by Mr. Goldberry, who, discarding that exploded theory that there is some magic in the number 7, has applied the limited liability principle to individuals, and every man, woman, and child in Utopia is now a company limited and liability restricted to the amount of his declared capital. There is not a christened baby here who has not already issued his little prospectus.
Marvelous is the power of a civilization which can transmute, by a word, a limited income into an income limited.
Reform has not stopped here. It has been applied even to the costume of our people. Discarding their own barbaric dress, the natives of our land have unanimously adopted the tasteful fashions of England in their rich entirety. Scapio and Fantis have undertaken a contract to supply the whole of Utopia with clothing designed upon the most approved English models. And the first drawing room is to be held here this evening.
But drawing rooms are always held in the afternoon.
Ah, we've improved upon that too. We all look so much better by candlelight. And when I tell you, dearest, that my new gloves have arrived, you'll understand that I want to go try them on.
Then we must part?
Oh, necessarily, for a time.
And just as I wanted to tell you with all the passion and enthusiasm of my nature, just how deeply and how devotedly I love you.
Hush. Are these the accents of a heart that truly feels? True love does not indulge itself in declamation. Its voice is sweet and soft and low. The west wind whispers when he moves the poplars.
sweet and low, sweet and low.
To a monarch who has been accustomed to the uncontrolled use of his limbs, the costume of a British field marshal is perhaps, at first, a little cramping and damnably hot. Are you sure that this is all right? It's not a practical joke, is it? No one has a keener sense of humor than I have, but the first statutory cabinet council of Utopia, Limited, must be conducted with dignity and impressiveness. Now, where are the others who have signed the Articles of Association?
Sir, they're here.
Oh, gentlemen, our daughter holds her first drawing room in half an hour, and we shall have to make our half-yearly report in the interval. I am necessarily unfamiliar with the forms of an English cabinet council. Perhaps the Lord Chamberlain will kindly put us in the way of doing the thing properly, with proper regard to the solemnity of the occasion.
Certainly. Nothing simpler. Kindly gather round. His Majesty will, of course, preside. But first, let me demonstrate. Like this.
Like this? We take your word for it then. This is all right. You're not making fun of us.
Not at all.
Oh, well, this is accordance in a practice at the court of Viscount Macy.
Well, it is in accordance with the practice at the Macy Center.
It seems odd, but never mind. Society has quite forsaken all the wicked courses, which empties our police courts and abolishes divorces.
Divorce is nearly obsolete in England.
Tolerance we show to undeserving rank and splendor, for the higher his position is, the greater the offender.
That's a maxim that is prevalent in England.
No peer is at our drawing room before the presence passes, wouldn't be accepted by the lower middle classes. Each shady day, whatever be her rank, is bowed up neatly.
Sure, this happy country has been anglicized completely.
It really surprises what a thorough exercise we have got in terms of another land. Our peerage we modeled on an intellectual basis, which certainly is rough on our hereditary races.
We're going to abolish it in England.
We've solved the labor question with discrimination polished, so poverty is obsolete and hunger is abolished.
We're going to abolish it in England.
The Chamberlain, our native state, has purged beyond a question of risky situation and indelicate suggestion. No peace is tolerated if it's costumed indiscreetly.
Sure, this happy country has been anglicized completely.
It really is surprising what a thorough exercise we have got in terms of another land.
It really is surprising what a thorough exercise we have got another land. Enterprise folks choosing the groups to beautifully offer to our motherland. Hey!
Now then, for our first drawing room. Where are the princesses? What an extraordinary thing it is that since European looking glasses have been supplied to the royal dressing rooms, my daughters are invariably late. Kindly request them to do us the favor to enter at once. My daughters, we are about to attempt a very solemn ceremonial. So no giggling, if you please. Now, we are ready. Let the revels commence!
Deeply burned, we view with smothered rage these Englishmen who rule supreme. The undertaking they redeemed by cycling every harmless game in which we both engage. In which we both engage.
We think it is our turn.
We do.
We think our turn has come.
We do.
These Englishmen, they must prepare to seek it once and ne'er to bear. The king is here to pour we swear shall be beneath our thumb.
He shall.
Shall be beneath our thumb.
He shall. For this must be, and this won't do. If you'll back me, then I'll back you. No, this won't do. No, this must be, no, this will be, and this won't do.
No! This won't do. Gentlemen, really. This unseemly display of energy within the royal precincts is altogether unpardonable. Pray, what do you complain of?
What do we complain of? Why, through the innovations introduced by the Flowers of Progress, all our harmless screams making provision for our old age are ruined. Our matrimonial business is at a standstill, our cheap sherry business is in bankruptcy, our army contracts are paralyzed, and our paper, the palace paper, is practically defunct.
Defunct? Is that so? Dear, I am truly sorry.
Are you aware that Sir Barely Bar has introduced a law of libel by which all editors of scurrilous newspapers are publicly flogged? As in England, and 6 of our editors have resigned in succession.
Then our burlesque theatre is absolutely ruined.
Dear. Well, theatrical property is not what it was.
Are you aware that the Lord Chamberlain, who has his own views as to theatrical propriety, has declined to license any play that is not in blank verse and 300 years old, as in England? Or hast thou not this news been apprised of?
And as if that wasn't enough, the county council has ordered a 4-foot wall to be built up right across the proscenium in case of fire, as in England.
It's so hard on the company, who are liable to be roasted alive. This has to be met by enormously increased salaries, as in England.
Really? Gentlemen, this is very irregular. If you will be so good as to formulate a detailed list of your grievances in writing, addressed to the Secretary of Utopia Limited, they will be laid before the board in due course, at their next monthly meeting.
Are we to understand that we are defied?
That is the idea I intended to convey.
Defied? We are defied?
Take care! You know our powers. Trifle with us, and you die.
He's right. We are helpless. He's no longer a human being. He's a corporation. And so long as he confines himself to his articles of association, we can't touch him. What are we to do?
Do? Raise a revolution. Repeal the Act of 62. Reconvert him into an individual and demand on his immediate explosion. Tarara, come here. You're the very man we want.
Certainly. Here, allow me. That was rude.
We have no time for idle forms. You wish to succeed to the throne?
Naturally.
Then you won't unless you join us. The king has defied us, and as matters stand, we are helpless, and so are you. We must devise some plot at once to bring the people about his ears.
A plot.
Yes, a plot of superhuman subtlety. Have you such a thing about you?
No, I think...
We can't wait! We must devise one at once and put it into effect without further delay. And not a moment to spare. I think we ought.
Such bosh I never heard.
Ah, happy thought.
I'm utterly dashed and upset.
I'll tell you how.
Oh, what put that in your head?
I've got it now.
Oh, take him away to bed.
What? Put me to bed?
Yes, certainly. Do listen to me. This is the only way.
Bah, it's rubbish. You talk ridiculous stuff.
You're a driveling bondul owl.
You're a vapid and vain old muff. So far, we haven't quite solved the plot. We're not terribly ingenious. But don't worry, we'll presently hit on a capital plot.
Suppose we all.
That's true, we certainly might. And then,
That's true. We certainly might. I'll tell you what.
We will if we possibly can. Then on the spot. Kaboom!
Bravo! A capital plan!
that's exceedingly neat and new.
It's certainly very complete.
Well done, you sly old sap.
Bravo, you cunning old mole.
You very ingenious chap.
Well, what did you think of our first South Pacific drawing room? Allowing for a slight difficulty with the trains and a little want of familiarity with the rouge pot, it was, on the whole, a meritorious affair.
My dear Dramely, it redounds infinitely to your credit.
One or two judicious innovations, I think.
Admirable. The cup of tea, the plate of Miss Biscuits, were a cheap and effective inspiration.
Yes, my idea entirely. Never been done before.
Pretty little maids, the king's youngest daughters, but timid.
That'll wear off. Young.
That will wear off. Here they come. Oh, by George, and without the dragon. What could they have done with her?
Oh, if you please, Lady Sophie has sent us in here because Zara and Captain Fitzbattleaxe are going on in the garden in a manner which no well-conducted young ladies ought to witness.
Indeed, we are very much obliged to her ladyship.
Are you? I wonder why. Don't tell us if it's rude.
Rude? Not at all. We are obliged to Lady Sophie, because she has afforded us the privilege of seeing you.
I don't think you ought to talk to us like that. It's calculated to turn our heads. Attractive girls cannot be too particular.
Pray be reassured. You're in no danger whatever.
But may I ask, is this extreme delicacy, this shrinking sensitiveness, a general characteristic of utopian young ladies?
Oh no! We are crack specimens. We are the pick of the basket. Would you mind not coming so near? Thank you. And please don't look at us like that. It unsettles us. And we don't like it. It's wrong. We have enjoyed the inestimable privilege of being educated by a most refined and easily shocked English lady on the very strictest of English principles.
But, my dear young ladies.
Oh, don't, you mustn't. It's too affectionate. It really does unsettle us.
Are you really under the impression that English girls are so ridiculously demure? Why, an English girl of the highest type is the best, the most beautiful, the bravest, and the brightest creature that heaven has conferred upon this world of ours. She's frank and open-hearted and fearless and never shows in so favorable a light as when she gives her own blameless impulses full play.
Oh, you shocking story!
No, not at all. I'm speaking the strictest truth. He'll tell you all about it.
Oh, wonderful joy our eyes to bless. In her magnificent comeliness is an English girl of 11 stone 2 and 5'10" in her dancing shoes. She follows the hounds and on she pounds, the field tails off and the muffs diminish. Over the hedges and brooks she bounds, straight as a crow from fine to finish. At cricket her kin will lose or win. She and her maids on grass and clover, 11 maids out, 11 maids in, and perhaps the occasional maiden over. Oh, go search the world and search the sea, then come you home and sing with me. There's no such gold and no such pearl as a bright and beautiful English girl. Her soul is as sweet as the ocean air, for prudery knows no haven there. To find mock modesty, please apply to the conscious blush and the downcast eye. Rich in the things contentment brings, in every pure enjoyment wealthy. Blithe as a beautiful bird she sings, for body and mind are hale and healthy. Her eyes they thrill with right goodwill. Her heart is as light as a floating feather, as pure and bright as the mountain rill that leaps and laughs in the highland heather. Ah, go search the world and search the sea, then come you home and sing with me. There's no such gold and no such pearl as a bright and beautiful English girl.
Oh, would some demon power the gift impart, to quell my over-conscientious heart, unspeak the oath that never should have been spoken, and break the vow sworn in my foolish youth. When I was but a maid of 15 year, short petticoated, and I fear still shorter sighted, I made a vow that only to some spotless king, who proof of blameless life could bring, could I be united. Each morning I pursued my game, but all in vain I searched each land. So to my native strand I returned, kingless, a little older, and a good deal wiser. I learned that spotless king and prince have disappeared from the earth. Ah me, even Paramount's angelic grace is but a mask on nature's face.
Oh, Lady Sophie, then you love me, for so you say.
No, no, by the stars that shine above me, degraded king. Not will these rumors, through the city bruited, remain uncontested, unrefuted.
Be just. The time is now at hand when truth may published be. These paragraphs were written and contributed by me.
By you? No, no.
Yes, yes, I swear, by me. I, caught in Scapio's ruthless toil, contributed the lot.
And that is why you did not boil the author on the spot.
And that is why I did not boil the author on the spot.
Oh, rapture unrestrained, for my sovereign has deigned a convincing explanation. The clouds that gathered o'er me have all vanished in the distance.
Oh, the skies are blue above, and earth is red and rosal. Now the lady of my love has accepted my proposal.
Upon our seagirt land, at our enforced command, reform has laid her hand like some remorseless ogress, and made us darkly rule the deeds we dared to do, and all is owing to those hated flowers of progress.
So down with them, reforms of hated ogress. So down with them, down with them,
Down with the flowers of progress.
down with the flowers of progress, down with them, down with them, down with them, down with the flowers of progress.
What means this most unmannerly eruption? Is this your gratitude for boons conferred?
Boons? Bah! These boons have brought Utopia to a standstill. Our pride and boast, the army and the navy, have both been reconstructed and remodeled on so irresistible basis that all the neighboring nations have disarmed and war is impossible.
And your county councillor has passed such drastic sanitary laws that the doctors dwindle, starve, and die. The laws, remodeled by Sir Bailey Barr, have quite extinguished crime and litigation. The lawyers starve, and all the jails are let as model lodgings for the working classes. In short, Utopia, swamped by dull prosperity, demands that these detested flowers of progress be sent about their business and affairs restored to their original complexion.
Is this your will? Oh, my daughter, this is a very unpleasant state of things. What is to be done?
I don't know. There's something wrong. I don't understand it.
Is everything at a standstill in England? Is there no litigation there? No bankruptcy, no poverty, squalor, crime? No sickness?
Plenty! It's the most prosperous country in the world. We must have omitted something.
Omitted something?
Yes.
Yes, that's all very well, but...
Oh, of course! Now I remember why I had forgotten the most important part. The most vital and the most essential element of all.
And that is?
Government by party. Introduce that great and glorious element, at once the bulwark and foundation of England's greatness, and all will be well. No political measures will endure, because what one party does, the other party will assuredly undo. And inexperienced civilians will govern your army and your navy. No social reforms will be attempted because out of vice and squalor and drunkenness, no political capital is to be made. And while grouse is to be shot and foxes worried to death, the legislative action of the country will be at a standstill. There will be sickness in plenty, endless lawsuits, crowded jails, interminable confusion in the army and navy, and in short, general and unexampled prosperity.
Baffled!
But an hour will come. Your hour has come already. Away with them, and let them wait upon my will.
We would have gotten away with it too, if it wasn't for those meddling kids.
From this moment on, government by party is adopted, with all its attendant blessings, and henceforward, Utopia will no longer be a monarchy limited, but what is a great deal better, a limited monarchy.
There's a little group of isles beyond the wave, so tiny you might almost wonder where it is. That nation is the bravest of the brave, and coward to the rarest of all rarities. The proudest nations near the Tagamore. She terrifies the foreign war skellions, and holds the peace of Europe in her heart with the first foreign bits of law battalions.
Such at least is the tale which is born on the gale from the island which dwells in the sea. Let us hope for her sake that she makes no mistake, that she's all she professes to be.
Oh, may we copy all her maxims wise, and imitate her virtues and her charities. And may we by degrees acclimatize her parliamentary peculiarities. By doing so we shall of course in time regenerate completely our entire land. Great Britain is the monarchy sublime, to which some add, but others do not, Ireland.
Such at least is the tale which is born on the gale from the island which dwells in the sea. Let us hope for her sake that she makes no mistakes, that she's all she professes to be. Such at least is the tale which is born on the gale.
Thank you.